Hey everyone, it's Emily Williams again, the founder of I Heart My Life, and I'm back for another interview. So if you'd love to join us live, we'd love to have you here and see your comments and questions and have you share hearts. So I'm just going to wait for a second to make sure my team can tell me that you can hear me and that everything is good. And then we will go ahead and dive in. I obviously have an incredible guest here with me today. So it looks like we are good. Awesome. So let's get started. So LaDawn,
Great.
hello.
Hello. Hi.
So excited to have this time with you. I remember when you went through iHeart Coaching, you were one of the amazing women who stole our heart. You have such a beautiful presence and energy, and we just love your personality and love watching you. So how about you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's LaDawn Townsend, proud graduate of iHeart Coaching Program. I'm a business strategist and executive coach. I work with small to medium-sized businesses to help them streamline their operations. I also do training for their teams, and it's really all around helping that business owner have a life that they love and that they're running their business and their business isn't running them.
Oh, that last part is so key. So tell me, what lights you up about that work?
You know, and this topic today is really exciting for me because I've done this type of work for a very long time in corporate America. It's been close to 20 years. I know when I say that, I shock people because they don't think I'm as old as I am.
No.
So sorry to break your hearts, but I'll just say I started when I was 10. Okay.
Yes. You and James.
Yes. So I just loved it. You know, my parents were entrepreneurs, and I remember at the age of like 7 and 8 working in their business and fixing problems and wanting to make customers happy. So it was when I got into corporate America right out of high school, I just sort of fell back into that. And it's really exciting. I remember specifically, I come from the finance industry, and I worked with a lot of customers earlier on, very face-to-face in my career. And I remember there was one woman that was so heartbroken because she didn't have enough money in her account to buy groceries. And it's because people hadn't explained things to her. And I think I was 19 at the time. Like, it was one of my first jobs. And I remember just working with her and fixing that problem. And I said, never again if I have the power to, will I have someone feel that way. And so it just really helps to light me up. And whether you're that woman who needed grocery money or whether you're running your own business and it feels like you need that help, it's all the same. And it really is something that excites me.
I love that. Yeah. And I just love all of the clients that come into this program and all the amazing women like yourself, because there's that big sense of purpose and that reason why you're doing what you're doing. It's just so evident, you know, how much you want to impact lives and impact the world. So tell us a little bit about when you started to get the coaching bug. When did that sort of start to excite you and feel like it was calling you?
Yeah, so I got the coaching bug, I think around 2012. It was actually from my hairstylist. And the funniest things happen when you're in the salon chair, I tell you.
Yes.
So I was feeling like I just didn't have a purpose. Like, I was doing really well in my corporate job. I had a wonderful job that allowed me to work from home. So I moved around the country. I lived in lots of places. And I just knew that there was something more. And around that time, I started reading about money and debt and really understanding my own debt and how we're really a slave to that and in bondage and just the whole thing. But I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know even how to address it. So I'm talking to my hairstylist one day about I just want to help people. I just want to do something more. And she said, well, I thought you were a coach because you're always talking about how you help people. Because I help people as a nonprofit for free, which I've learned through you. You run a business, not a nonprofit. But I was coaching people and helping them with their business for free for years. And so she started talking to me about coaching and how, as a salon owner, she coached other salon owners on opening their own business. And it was as if like this light bulb came on where I learned how to leverage skills in order to monetize yourself. I had never even understood that before. So that was the first introduction. And then I, like everyone, Googled how to be a coach and received thousands of different ads. And I actually enrolled into a coaching program. I was so excited because, you know, I come from corporate. So you do things a certain way. And I enrolled in this program and I'm like, okay, how do we dig in and help people and get to the nitty gritty? And they said, well, we don't really do that. Just how do people feel? And I said, this is not the program for me. Like, I can't do this. So it just sort of started going from there. And then when I found you, I actually had been laid off from that wonderful corporate job. And I share that very openly because if you think it can't happen to you, it can. And the day it happened to me, it was myself, all my coworkers, all my bosses, people with families and mortgages, and we were all, you know, the company broke up with us. So that's what happened. And I just knew I needed someone. And then I came across you in a magazine article and it blew me away. I said, she's living my story. The only difference is I'm brunette, she's blonde.
We both have amazing hair though, right?
I'm telling you, we have to get, well, it's a little humid here today, so I'm hoping it holds still. But
yeah,
so
my hairdresser had to come back because mine dropped like after an hour. So I feel you.
So that's how I found coaching. And there's so many different layers of coaching that's out there. And I just had to find the one that really spoke to my soul.
I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know that so many women can relate that idea or that feeling that there's something more for you and you don't necessarily know what it is. That was definitely my journey, being in this quarter life crisis, not knowing what I wanted to do. And then bam, discovered coaching, and that changed everything. So when you found the program, did you know that that was the thing you were looking for? Like you said, you've already invested in one thing. It wasn't the right fit. So how did you feel when you found iHeart Coaching?
So when I found your program, what really struck me was your story. And I could tell that your story was very authentic of, you know, moving to London. And I think you start off with the quarter life crisis. And I could relate to that because here I was laid off, you know, my first year of being, I call it voluntarily off of work. I did everything a business owner shouldn't do. Like, I don't regret it, but there was a lot of time and money wasted in things that just weren't really for me. So when I found your program, it was at a point where I had made a decision that I needed to invest in myself. Like, it's one thing to have a really good corporate career and save companies millions of dollars. And I thought I could just figure this business thing out on my own. And then you're spinning because you do need help. And what I related to was, one, the professionalism of your site. I just remember that. I was like, oh, she's so detail oriented. I love it. Like, I can relate to that because there were details, and like, you would address a question before I would even answer the question. And I was looking for someone who was thinking bigger for me, that knew more than me, that wasn't just a little bit ahead of me, but was majorly ahead of me. And that's what I found. And then just your personality too. And I loved how you and James worked together. And he has that corporate background. So that's one of the things that really attracted me. And so I think I was like on every like webinar you had or teleclass you had to learn more about you. And then when I decided to join, it was like at the 11th hour, and I wanted to be a part of VIP. So I was talking to Stacy and I was like, is there still room? I just, because I knew I had to be a part of a training, and I wanted to also be in a community of women who were going for the same things in their life.
That's a theme for these interviews. Everyone seems to have waited till the very last minute, which I totally get because I did the same thing. And obviously you do your research, you're on all the trainings, everything. So what was it that finally helped you, I guess, make the leap?
It was something that you say all the time, and it's, you can either be rich or you can be scared, but you can't be both. And at that point, to be honest, I was scared. I was scared, but willing to do the work to change it. Because when you go through, you know, when you come from corporate for so long, you're actually educated and your brain is trained in such a way that you're reliant on an addiction to your paycheck. And people who are watching this, if they're in that corporate position, you don't even know that it's happening until you're removed from it.
Mm.
And you think that making six figures is a really good number, but when you break it down, it's really not. Over 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And I remember after I got laid off, Emily, it was so interesting. I called executives to ask them to be a referral for me. And I had more conversations about how they were scared to death to be laid off because they needed every paycheck. And these are people making multiple six figures.
Yeah.
Or I heard, we would get a divorce if one of us lost our job. So when you said that, it just really opened my eyes of coming from the finance world. We think we know what money is. I had no idea what real wealth and money was. And I made a decision. I don't want to be scared anymore. I might feel it. And there was another thing you said about overwhelm. We don't believe in overwhelm. We don't go into overwhelm. And that was a driving force for me. And I said, if she can do it and move to London with almost nothing, then I know I can figure this out too, because I'm sure you felt the same thing. And you shared that with us, your transparent feelings. I remember the story about you being in Australia. I totally know all these stories. This is so
I share a lot of stories.
I do, but there was a story about you being in Australia with the candy bar that was $7, and you didn't want to buy it. I thought that would have so been me. You're in this beautiful posh hotel and you're finagling over a $7 candy bar. So those things I just said, oh, I think she's walked the walk I'm going to go down, and I just need to take the bullet and just do it.
Mm. Yeah, I shared that story recently. I forget when it was, but yeah, I essentially didn't want to buy the candy bar from the mini bar in the hotel room. And then I realized I just spent thousands to stay in this hotel and to travel around the world. I was really tired. I just wanted a piece of chocolate. And I finally let myself have that candy bar because I figured, someone must be buying this stuff. They keep putting mini bars in hotel rooms. They wouldn't do it unless someone was buying it. So why not me? And I think that's the theme here. And that's one of my huge messages for women is when you see people like myself or LaDawn, for anyone watching, and you see us doing all these things and making these decisions and living our life in a certain way, just to always remember that we're no different than you. And if we can do it, you can do it too. And
exactly.
Finally get that, then they know that the fear is there, but they don't have to give in to the fear. They can actually take steps towards their dreams because it's possible for them too.
Yeah, exactly. Love that. There was also something else you said. I'm sorry, one more story. And It was about traveling in business class. And your coach was saying, well, who do you think travels in business class? Business people. And you're a business person. And I think when you're in corporate, you have, some of us are blessed to have the corporate card and, all the expenses. And so it's easy to go and spend those type of things. But when you're in your own business, there is no corporate card. You are the corporate card. You do have to provide those things. And so it's such a shift in the mindset. And I just remember even being in the program, week over week, I got so much from it, and just the really transparent guidance that you gave. There was a few topics where I was struggling with my own self-worth. I think when I came in the program, I've done everything from health coaching to only working with women entrepreneurs, and I had a whole hang up about that. And then only not working with the higher end entrepreneurs and business owners that I can. And you really spoke that into me to where I wasn't believing it for myself, and I needed to. And that really helped me step into my own truth.
Mm. Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. That means the world to me. And so many of us are struggling with self-worth and self-love. You're definitely not alone. And I, have struggled with it as well. And to this day, still have challenges with that. And so I think, that really brings us to the program. And one of my favorite parts of the program is the first 6 weeks. And for those of you just joining, we're talking about iHeart Coaching, which is our signature 6-month training program for new coaches. And so the coaching program is built into 3 different sections, essentially: mindset work, business systems and structures, and then coaching techniques. And so tell us a little bit about your experience throughout the 6 months, LaDawn.
So my first thought when I saw the agenda, I thought, well, that's great, but can we fast forward past the 6 weeks? And can I just jump into, just tell me the logistics, what should the list be? What should I do on this day? And I remember you saying, just go through, there's a reason why we have all of this. So I thought, well, fine, I'll do it. I thought, I'm a little bit, I was a little sassy. I was a little sassy. And then the books, and I was thinking I'm working full time and how am I going to read these books? Well, really what it was decisions in your life. Most Americans, I think there was a study that it was 20 hours a week of TV that they watch. And when I evaluated my own life, there was a few things I had to say. One, if she did it, just do it. You're paying for the program. You're paying for the expertise. So just stop bucking the system and go through and do it. And then two, why can't you do that 6 weeks? And it's because my life on the outside, I was one of those people watching TV when I thought it would just be a relaxation thing. So I had to switch up even my own life of things, because in order to really have the life you want, you have to commit. You have to give some things up. And my actions weren't matching up with my dream board. So that first 6 weeks really helped. And there was so much I didn't even understand about my own money story from being a kid that I was still carrying around with me. So the first 6 weeks is mindset and money story, and you do need to do it. And and it really does help you see bigger for yourself. So when you get into the business stuff, it makes sense.
Beautiful. And then when you left the program, let's fast forward to that. So what did you have in place once you graduated?
So once I graduated, graduation is amazing, by the way. I loved coming to London. That was awesome. I wanted to visit London forever. So just meeting everyone and seeing there. And there was something in the graduation, I think also being around you and James and seeing how you run your business. It's just who you are and really standing bigger for us. And it woke me up to what I needed to do next. So what I needed to do next, I started doing market research. I was digging into more of my ideal client, which changed from, I was still only focusing on women entrepreneurs. And then I just had a wake up call. I went to a conference earlier this year and I met so many men who were asking about my service. And saying, why do you only work with women? That I was like, I don't know, why do I only do that? So I had to change that. And it was still an evolution. Here's my thing. Everyone has their own timeline, their own journey, and you have to relate to the journey. I wasn't ready at that time to really take on the clientele that's coming. I needed to still go through some mindset things. I still needed to understand what my value was. Even what I was going to charge, I think you told me at one point, like, you're charging way too little for everything I was going to do. So it's just been working. It's you can enjoy your work and you can have a great business, but it takes work, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. And so since then, I have accountability partners. It's amazing for us to really stay honest with each other. I have some speaking engagements coming up I'm really excited about. So yeah, it's been really good.
I love that. And James just popped on and said, LaDawn, you rock star, you.
Hey, James. And that was another thing, working with James. I was in the VIP program, so I had the high performance coaching with him. And those sessions were amazing. And I thought to myself, I said, well, high performance, I'm not, okay, I'll do it. Another sassy moment. I was like, let me just do it. This is new for me. But it was amazing because he helped me really unlock some mindset things. That's my biggest thing is when I get in my head, that's when it's the worst thing. And especially as women, because not only do we come up with the problem, we come up with the solution, the conclusion, and then the other problem. So it helped me understand and really think through.
Oh God, why do we do that?
We do. It's just like, it's amazing. I won't even give examples because people are probably nodding their head, but he helped me really remove that. And I think having him in the program to coach from a male's perspective was really interesting because we think the world is falling when really no, it could be just a small little setback and we think everything is like disastrous.
Yeah, definitely. And for this round of the program, James is doing a monthly call with everyone. So if anyone's wondering what we're talking about, James is a certified high performance coach. He's my husband and business partner, and he'll be a part of the program. So I love everything that you shared, LaDawn. So tell us a little bit more about what's next for you and what you're excited about.
I think what I'm most excited about is I'm actually writing a book to help companies. And yeah, it's called Company Held Hostage. And it's to help leaders understand why you do need to have systems and structures set up in your company. And when you don't, you really become reliant on one or two employees and they can hold your company hostage. I've seen it over and over again. So I'm really excited about that. I have some speaking coming up and some travel and it's really busy time in my life right now, but I just absolutely love it. I'm so excited because I feel like now I'm really walking in my purpose. Like I got through the mindset stuff. I got through the things that were holding me back. And so when anything tries to rear its ugly head to maybe throw me off track, I can really identify it for what it is, address it, and move on.
Love it. And what about you? Any men in your life? I have to ask.
We did talk about that in the program, huh? That was not, yeah. And you're supposed to be coming out with your dating book or your coaching book about that. So I'll be the first one to sign up. So it's been a really fun year. I'll say that.
You're amazing. Yeah, I have a book I wrote all about online dating because that's how I met my husband. It hasn't been released yet, so we'll see if that one ever gets released. What was I going to ask? So now I'm off topic here, but I had to ask. So for anyone who's on the fence about iHeart Coaching, what would you say to them, LaDawn?
So when I joined the program, I'll be very transparent. I was coming off of a year of being laid off. A year of people looking at my resume and asking, why would you want to work for us? Or you're too qualified. And it was a hard time. But I knew that I needed to invest in someone who knew more than me because I don't know everything. And so I waited to the last minute and missed out on tons of bonuses, which was painful. But I got a lot from the program. I would say if you're on the fence, ask yourself why. Is it an ego thing that maybe we don't want to say it's ego with, well, I can figure this out on my own and I'm just going to read books or I'm going to sign up for more webinars. All of the free webinars or the free newsletters isn't the coaching you're going to need. That would be one. And then two, to really ask yourself, what type of life do you really want? Not what's realistic, not what your family or friends have. That's great for them, but what do you want? And I knew for me, I wanted a big life. I wanted to be able to travel. I got to go to London and Paris. I have a trip planned to go back. And those were just the things I wanted. When you get honest with yourself about the life you want, then you can lean into making the type of money because you know exactly what it's going for. But instead of saying, I think I had a friend one time who was like talking about someone who drove a Mercedes. And she was like, oh my gosh, I don't understand why you have to have a Mercedes. And I was like, it's just a higher end Toyota. Like, what, why do you have to have a Toyota? They're all cars. One is just a little bit different than the other. So be the woman that it's okay to have the Mercedes, or how you used to say to me, be the Chanel. It's okay, be that. And when you do that, everything in your life changes. Like your circle changes, your decisions about spending changes, where you live. And it can be scary, I understand, but you can either be rich or you can be scared. You can't do both. And the third thing I would say is you're probably, by not fulfilling your own calling and really stepping into the training that you need, you're not preparing yourself for whoever is assigned to you for you to pour into them. So it's not about us. It's about someone else. Like if you would have never stepped out and joined your coaching program and then created this, I wouldn't have been able to start my journey. So we all help each other. And it's really, I feel like very, it's very deep for me this year that this is the year where people really have to make serious decisions about their future. Probably because I've went through being laid off. I've went through being really restricted in your budget. And so if you're relying on what you think is safety and security, the only safety and security you have is what you go out and make for yourself. So just get over yourself and sign up. That's pretty much my message.
Wow. I'm going to hire you to do our marketing. What an amazing way to put all of that. And it's so true. Thank you so much, LaDawn. I know that really resonated with people. And I love the part how you said there are people assigned to you. That's so key because we realize, we don't realize that there are people out there waiting to find us, and that by you taking a step towards your dreams, it automatically will affect others. And there will be people who will be so excited about the work that you're doing in the world and feel drawn to you. And then in turn, their life will change. So it's so much bigger than just us.
Yeah, exactly. Completely.
Amazing. Well, so excited to continue to watch you on your journey. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's been so special to have this time with you. We miss you and we love you. And we're just so, thrilled to watch what's next.
Oh, thank you, Emily. It was my honor to be a part of the interview today. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And for anyone who wants to join iHeart Coaching, we're starting next week. So you only have a few more days to register. So go to iHeartCoaching.com today. All right, LaDawn, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, bye.